All rise.
Okay, be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Have anything to report? All right, hearing nothing, we'll move on. Witness Mike Cornett's on the stand, and we're ready to go.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Cornett, just briefly, you're no longer employed with the Kentucky State Police, is that correct?
No, sir. I retired August the 1st of 2018.
Okay, is that why you didn't have the evidence with you and we had to take a moment for you to take possession of that evidence?
Yes, sir. The case has been reassigned to another officer.
Okay. Now, we had talked earlier about segregating the evidence into two cumulative exhibits, the first being from the residence, okay? Can you please grab the evidence that was collected from the residence location?
It's supposed to be a little dark gloves. You want me to set it?
If you'll bring it over here, I'm going to have you simply read out what each item is that has been collected. We do not need to unseal any sealed containers that might contain various substances that you don't want to get on your hands. But as we read these out, Your Honor, my request is that the first item that he reads out be Commonwealth's Exhibit 6.1, the next be 6.2, and thereafter increasing in number until he is completed with the first cumulative exhibit, which would be from the residence.
Ready?
Just simply start reading them. As you read them, if you would, place them on the next ledge so you know what you've gone through.
The black cell phone and charger taken from the residence of Ronnie King.
6.1.
Yes.
It's a brown camel hunting boot. Brass belt buckle. A blue Smith & Wesson 357 caliber gun box. A blue Smith & Wesson 38 caliber gun box. A silver digital camera in a black nylon case. A white pillow with bullet hole. Four cans of ash, one from the living room near the hole, one from the couch in the living room, one from the bedroom, and one from the chair in the computer room.
And Mr. Corner, were those all of the items collected as evidence from the residence of Ronnie King?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I'd ask that they be admitted as Commonwealth's cumulative 6 and noted specifically at 6.1 and thereafter.
Okay, I have
numbered.
6.1 through 6.8.
Okay.
Any objection? No objection. All right. They're introduced as Commonwealth's Exhibit 6, Collective Exhibit or Cumulative Exhibit 6.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Mr. Corner, could we repeat the same procedure with those items collected from the autopsy medical examination location? Please proceed, yes.
All right, we got burnt duct tape and sock off the left foot, burnt duct tape and sock off the right foot, duct tape off right arm, burnt belt off of wrist, duct tape off of neck, eyeglasses off victim.
Supposed to be 6.9, 6.9.
That would be 7. This would
Collective
be,
Exhibit 7, he went through them so quickly, I didn't put them, get them in decimals.
I think that what we should do is call that Commonwealth's Collective Exhibit 7 because it's several items and then list each one in that individual package as 7.2, 7.3, 7.4.
Okay, you might run through them again because it went so fast.
Yes, I think we're going to have to.
Let's do it once more, Mr. Corner. Just a little slower. Okay?
Ready, Your Honor?
Yes, go ahead.
Burnt duct tape and sock off of left foot.
All right.
Burnt duct tape and sock off right foot.
All right.
Duct tape off right arm.
All right.
Burnt belt off wrist.
All right.
Duct tape off neck.
All right.
Eyeglasses off victim.
All right.
Only 6 on those. There's 6 items in there.
Yeah, 3. All right, that would be Collective Exhibit 7 and a 7.1 through 7.6. Correct?
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right. All right.
What will this be numbered, sir?
Court, Judge, if the court pleases, we can continue with 7 or we can go to 8 because those were all.
Is there another one?
However the court wishes.
However you want to do it.
I think we just stay with 7 since they're all coming from the same place
Yep.
generally. Okay,
So we
we're
go
gonna stay with
7.7.
7. We're at 7.7.
All right.
Projectile from victim's head.
All right.
Pulled head hair from Ronnie King.
Okay.
Material from right side of head.
All right.
That would be 8, or you gonna go 7.10?
We can go 8.
8 on this one?
7. Well, let's see.
I think we stay with 7.10. That would be my
7.10.
suggestion.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
This is the left hand nail clippings and the right hand nail clippings of Ronnie King.
All right.
Seven 11 on this one?
7.
DNA card from Ronnie King.
All right.
12.
Unknown greenish substance off chest of Ronnie King.
Could you repeat that? Unknown.
Unknown greenish
Okay.
substance
Mm-hmm.
off chest of Ronnie King.
Okay.
On this form, I did not fill this form out. It came from, I think someone at the lab. It said bag containing lab evidence. It's from the sexual assault kit that was collected by the medical examiner. I think it's got several items in there. I can look on the lab report and tell you
I
that.
think sexual assault kit.
Is that item 13?
Is that item 13, Your Honor?
Yes, 13.
13.
713. Sexual assault kit.
This is duct tape recovered from head.
Okay.
Duct tape recovered from right hand.
Okay.
Duct tape recovered from right upper arm.
Okay.
And it says post-mortem fingerprints and right palm.
Okay. Is that it?
Your Honor, can I just check the evidence and make sure I've got it all?
All right,
I
sure.
don't want to cause no trouble.
7.14 on the last one.
I got 7.17.
7.7.
Yeah, they do. They're individual types in that one box.
Oh, he did. Oh, okay, he went through it. Okay. So it had, in this box, it had 14, 15, 16.
Yes, that's everything.
14,
Okay.
15, 16.
I got you.
And it's everything you want.
That it?
That's right.
So we got, I've got 17 items under collective exhibit 7, identified as collective.
That's what I have, Your Honor. Yes.
All right.
Judge, I would move to have collective 6 and collective 7 admitted into evidence
Okay,
as
6 is in evidence. Any objection on 7?
Oh, yeah.
All right. collected Exhibit 7, which includes all 17 items just identified, is introduced. Okay.
Proceed, Your Honor?
Oh, sure.
Okay, thank you. Now let's get back on track. We spoke yesterday about your investigation. You had been at the residence there in Everett, Kentucky. You've collected evidence. One of the things that you had talked about in your visualization of the residence were safes and other items that were still remaining in the residence. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, safes and lock boxes, various things like that that you had seen while there, do you recall whether or not those items had anything within them?
They were all empty.
They were all empty. Okay. At some point in your investigation, did you begin to try and determine what was or may have been within those items?
After the initial crime scene was, we left and everything was closed down, I went to the sister's residence next door, 30, 40 feet next door, and met with approximately 12 to 15 members of the family and asked what was in the safe, what did he have of value, just trying to get an answer what I'm looking for.
Okay, great. Your Honor, that's all the questions I have at this point.
Any cross?
Yes, sir.
I guess retired, I forget your title. Mr. Cornett.
Mike Cornett's fine, sir. I don't have a title anymore.
Mike, yesterday we talked about how you were the lead investigator on this whole case, right?
Yes, sir.
So we talked about how when you showed up, it was pretty much instantly determined to be a murder, right?
Not instantly, but shortly thereafter, yes, sir.
And you were the one responsible for collecting these items that were just introduced in evidence, right?
Yes, sir.
And we'll get into what you do with those items later. But yesterday we also saw some pictures from the residence and some other things. So I want to talk about kind of what isn't here. There was no, and maybe I tried to write down everything, but obviously the safes aren't here. There were 2 safes, right?
2 safes and a strong box, yes. I mean, a metal cash box.
And those aren't in evidence, and you didn't collect those, did you?
No, sir. I had the automated fingerprint section from Frankfurt State Police came to the scene and attempted to retrieve fingerprints from those items at the scene. They was unable to recover any usable latent prints. Thus, I left them at the residence.
So there were no fingerprints on either one of the safes or the lockbox.
That's correct.
And yesterday there was testimony about blood. I didn't hear any blood evidence be introduced. Did you collect any blood from the scene?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay. There was mention of one of the safes having basically a 2-key system to enter the safe. Did you collect those keys?
No, sir, I left them with the box. It was a strong box, fireproof Century box, I believe you can buy at Walmart.
And there was testimony about 2 pillows, and I only heard 1 pillow entered into evidence. Did you collect the second pillow?
The second pillow was the victim's head was lying on it. I saw no evidentiary value in that pillow.
We also saw a picture of a burnt chair with duct tape on it. Did you collect that duct tape?
I don't think I did, but let me look through my things here again. I read so many things that had duct tape on them.
I didn't hear duct tape from the chair.
No, I did not.
Okay. Yesterday, we heard about zip ties.
Yes, sir.
I didn't hear any zip ties be entered into evidence.
I assume it's on the duct tape that was cut from the hands at the autopsy.
Duct tape, belt tape, and eyeglasses?
So we can open it up and look at it.
Of zip ties there? And you didn't collect the zip ties that were, I guess, seen at the time?
No, sir.
So those aren't in evidence?
No, sir. I think they may have been photographed.
And then, as far as DNA collection goes, there's a sexual assault kit. But what other places did you collect possible DNA samples?
I think Mr. Shell submitted to a buccal swab for DNA testing.
Okay. There were lots of, I guess, Mr. King had 2 floors in his residence. Did you take anything from the second floor and put it in evidence? I mean, from the bottom floor, the basement, I'm sorry.
No, sir. There was no sign that the crime scene went to the basement other than the floor, chair falling through the floor. It had a secure locked door on the basement.
And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I know there's more evidence to be introduced. But just basically, you collect the evidence and you store it. Every one of those pieces of paper that you pulled out, that's a KSP 41, right?
Yes, sir.
And that has everybody that touched it, signs it, say they touched it.
Yes, sir.
And every piece of evidence we had there contained a KSP 41, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you can take that evidence and you can fill out a KSP 26 and send it off to be tested,
Yes, sir.
right? But obviously if you don't collect it, you can't send it to be tested, right?
Pretty good observation. Yes, sir.
So, excuse me, I got a throat thing. I've been coughing for 2 days. Let me collect myself for a minute before I cough all over this microphone. Thank you. Sorry. And this, the collective exhibit 6 and 7, that's everything you took from Mr. King's residence and from the body of Mr. King, correct?
Yes, sir.
I don't have any more questions at this time.
Can you redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Is this witness still subject to recall?
Yes, Your Honor, he's still an active witness, but we'll
Okay. Step down, Mr. Cornhead, subject to recall. may call your next witness.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth calls Jesse Farley.
Jesse Farley. All right.
Be careful of that step right there. Step right up here.
All right. Are you Jesse Farley?
Yes, sir.
Would you raise your right hand, please? You swear or affirm that any testimony you give in this trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, have a seat, Mr. Farley. Speak up loud and clearly, and go ahead, Mr. Farley.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Farley, will you spell your name and introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the grand jury?
My name's Jesse Hobart Farley, JSSE-HOBERT-FARLEY.
And how do you know the deceased, Ronnie King?
He was my uncle.
Did you live near him?
I lived right across the street from him.
And where was that?
Kelly Street, 153 Kelly Street.
That's in
Everett's,
Kentucky.
Kentucky, 40828.
When did you learn that he had been killed?
I'd got up there probably around 9, 10 o'clock that morning. I had to go pay some bills in Harlan. Usually I'm up there early, but I had just moved about a year before that. I actually bought a house off of him and moved to Coxton about a year before that.
You bought a house from him. You all were close.
Very close, yeah.
A lot of family lived nearby. About how many?
Yes, my mama, his mother lived right beside him. His brother Ron lived right beside him on the other side. Me and my mother lived right across the street. We was all surrounded by family.
On that morning of February the 18th, 2013, did all the family gather?
After we found out it happened, yes, everybody's gathered in my grandmother's yard.
Did you meet with Detective Cornett that morning?
Yeah.
And did the family tell Detective Cornett, and were you there present, and tell Detective Cornett some of the items and things that were in the house?
Yes.
What did you know about the safe?
The safe, it took 8 of us to get it in there. It was a huge safe, massive, and he had old guns, money, old script money, jewelry. He pawned a lot of stuff, bought a lot of stuff, and
You say he would pawn stuff. He would take stuff in.
yes, he
and
pawned
pawn
stuff.
for people.
He bought taxes. He bought people's taxes and would file them and pay them for it. He bought a lot of stuff. He was into that. He collected a lot of stuff.
Did he have any jars of coins or anything like
Oh,
that?
he had a lot of jars of coins. He had jars of nickels, 1965 and down. I believe he said that's all silver or something. He collected all kind of change and stuff.
What about pennies?
Pennies, nickels, you name it. Old script money, old paper money.
Well, now you all helped him carry that safe in. Had he had the safe long?
He had it probably about a year before that happened, somewhere around that area.
Had he been broken into in his house there any time before this happened where he was killed?
Yes, I believe it was about 10, 11 months before that he was broken into.
And was he home then when that happened?
No, I reckon it was at work.
And where did he work?
Eastbrook housing projects.
So when you met with the family, when the family met with Detective Cornett, you itemized and gave him a list of things that were there. Can you remember some of the things that you told him that were there or that were missing?
He was missing guns. He had bought 45 Smith & Wesson. He had bought a hammerless Smith & Wesson snub-nose 38. He had some change missing, old money, script money and stuff missing. He had an old black snub-nose 38 that was missing, which he had for years. And he had he had like liquor, it wasn't liquor, like pina colada, he had like a wine cabinet, stuff like that was gone. And,
Any jewelry or gold or silver?
his knives, yeah, he had a glass case, a showcase, and a lot of that stuff was gone. And that's when after that, he put a lot, what he had left, I reckon he moved to his safe and he sold his showcases and all that.
So we're talking about what was missing in February when he died.
I know a lot of that stuff, what I named was missing, but I don't know exactly what all else
But in that big safe, he kept things that were
he
valuable.
kept valuables, yeah, money, jewelry, stuff like that, knives.
Jewelry, like gold jewelry,
Yeah, yeah, it was real. He didn't fool nothing.
watches or anything like that.
Watches, necklaces, rings, old guns, just.
And a lot of these stuff he would take in for pawn.
He went out and bought. We'd go to Knoxville and Lexington. He bought, but a lot of stuff he would pawn too. People would pawn, wouldn't come back and get, and it accumulated over time. Yeah.
Now Jerry Mulkey, who's seated in the courtroom, who testified earlier, how's she related to you?
She's my aunt.
Do you recall when you all met with the detective, who did you all tell, who told him that was the last person to talk to Ronnie King?
Personally or on the phone?
Well, on the phone or personally. Last one.
I was over there way earlier that day, but I reckon on the phone she said it was Kevin Dixon last had talked to him on the phone, or said he was at the door. She was the last to talk to him on the phone. So
Identified Kevin Dixon.
yeah, if that was him, then he would have been the last.
That's all I have, thank you.
Any cross?
Mr. Farley, to start off with, I was a little confused when you started talking about some of the stuff that you knew Ronnie had that was missing, and on what day, because we were talking about two different. So I guess 10 or 11 months earlier, somebody had broken into Ronnie King's home and had taken his stuff.
Yeah, took some stuff, yeah.
And then you started talking about some stuff, and I wasn't sure if you were talking about stuff that was missing or stuff that was subsequently missing after he was murdered. Okay? So you started talking about a knife case.
He had several knives, and he had a display case with several knives in it.
And was that missing from the first robbery or from the second murder?
Well, the first robbery, there was a lot missing, and what he had left after that, I guess he'd moved to his safe, you know, and got rid of his showcase, which was glass.
And did you talk to the police or interview, or did the police talk to you after Ronnie King's murder?
After, yeah.
They did? And in that conversation, did they ask you questions about Kevin Dixon?
Yeah, they asked me had I seen him over there earlier that day.
You asked them, they asked you kind of if you saw Kevin Dixon over there that day?
If I had seen him over that day, yeah.
And did they ask you about Kevin's relationship with Ronnie?
No, they didn't. I don't believe they really asked nothing like that.
You don't think they did?
Not his relationship. I mean, there's friends. He come over there, he worked for him, and he pawned a lot of stuff and done stuff like that too for him, helped him.
So Kevin and Ronnie were friends?
Yeah, I mean, his friends, yeah.
They knew each other?
Yeah. I mean, he was over there. He'd go over there and work and pawn a lot of stuff. He borrowed money, to be honest with you, a lot of him.
Did Ronnie suspect that Kevin was the one that broke into his house 10 months earlier?
He never mentioned it to me. He never said that he suspected him, but he never knew who done it, I don't believe.
Your
I'm
Honor,
so- I'm
may
sorry?
we approach?
He did.
Speculative objections, he's asking, did he ever,
So, it's been 6 years.
Yeah, around about.
I don't quite remember 6 years ago as well as I did when I was there. But my notes say that you talked to the police on February 18th, 2013, right? And I would say that you knew a lot more about 2013 then than you remember now. Is that fair?
I'd say, yeah, it's 6 years ago.
So, if you told the police in 2013 that Ronnie suspected Kevin Dixon did it,
No, I told him I would have suspected he done it, but Ronnie never told me.
you said
he-
you suspected it?
That's what I would have thought, but Ronnie never said he suspected it. He didn't know.
So you didn't talk about Ronnie possibly pressing charges against Kevin?
No.
Do you remember anything about Kevin stealing 300 Bic lighters from Mr. King?
I believe he did steal some big. I don't know if he really stole them. Ronnie bought big packs of them. I don't know if he never come out and told me he stole them, but he accumulated a lot of stuff like that. He bought bulks of everything.
Hold on 1 second. When you were testifying about some of the guns and some of the things that you believe Mr. King had, did you mention a shotgun at all?
He had a .410 shotgun.
I'm not good with my shotguns. Would that be a Mossberg 12 gauge pump shotgun?
If he had them, he took them in pawn and stuff.
I'm sorry?
He's took them in pawn.
Oh, pawn. Okay.
Yeah, but he had a .410 put back, but stuff he had. He did have a pump, Mossberg, but I believe he had pawned it for somebody.
And you live across the street from Ronnie King?
At the time, I lived in Coxton. I had bought a house about not even a year before that off of him. But I lived prior to that my whole life across the street from him.
Does your family live across from Ronnie King?
My mother did.
What about JR?
No.
He wasn't living there?
No, he's never lived there.
Was he staying there at the time of the murder?
No, he was in and out. He had moved up the river and got married. And before that, he was in Tennessee with his ex-wife, Norma. But I mean, he'd come around. He didn't live there, though.
Okay, thank you. That's all the questions I have.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor. May this witness be excused to sit with the family?
All right. You're excused, sir. You may stay in the courtroom tonight. You may be recalled.
Your Honor, may we approach?